We start with the second City derby at Villa Park. Both sides went into it in good form. Aston Villa were looking to win a 7th game in a row, which would move them up to second in the Championship, while Birmingham were unbeaten in 4 league games and had moved away from the drop zone. Yasmin Bottleby reports. This is the Ricoh Arena's exhibition hall. 600 snooker fans, as you can see, just starting to make their way in for the evening session. It's the home of the champion of champions. It's been here for 5 years now, growing in popularity, and that's because it draws in all the big names, because you have to have won a tournament to get here. Now, each day is a group. There'll be 2 matches in the afternoon. The winners of those play each other in the evening for a place in the semi-finals and the finals at the weekend. Now, Jester from Leicester, Mark Selby, was in action this afternoon. He struggled actually against Liang Wenbo of China. He just scraped through 4-3 overall, probably because he was a little bit tired after travelling back from a tournament win in China. The International Championships finished on Sunday. He'd been travelling back for a few days, but after his win, I caught up with him.
Tough match, physically and mentally, really, because I only got back yesterday from China. From
one world champion to a former world champion, Stephen Hendry joins me now. Delighted to speak to you, Stephen.
Hi.
So we're here in Coventry. You think of Sheffield as the home of snooker, but Coventry's making a home for itself here, isn't it?
Yeah, without a doubt, and I think these big events really need to have an identity, and I think to do that you stay in the same venue for a long period of time. As you say, the Sheffield, the Crucible will always be synonymous with snooker. It's the World Championship, but this Champion of Champions now is grown into a really big event that all the players want to win, so it's great. It's a fantastic venue here at the Ricoh.
Stephen Hendry, thank you very much for joining me. As Stephen just said, you can see Mark Selby's game this evening on ITV4 at, well, in a few minutes actually, 6:45.
Matt, thank you very much. Just want to say, when you're there in that venue, it must be tempting to try and have a game with somebody, but isn't it right that you have actually played Mark Selby?
I was hoping you didn't bring that up, actually. I did play him about 10 years ago at my local club. There was an exhibition going on. He fouled and gave me 4 points. I potted a red, then a blue for 10. I thought I was in. Missed an easy red, sat down, and Mark cleaned up. So I don't like to talk about it too much.
Well, you're in good company, Matt. Don't worry about it. Thank you very much indeed.
To tell us more tonight, Matt Ratcliffe joins us in the studio. Matt, this is good news then?
Well, it certainly sounds like it. You remember Steve was sat right here yesterday talking about how Aston Villa had apparently a £4 million unpaid debt to the HMRC. Well, that was perhaps down to the owner, Dr. Tony Xia, who's in China. He's been bankrolling the club for the last 2 years with millions of pounds of his own money, and apparently struggling to get that money over here to pay Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs. Because of that, there was a lot of uncertainty over the club's future, because without paying tax, they could end up with a winding up order.
Well, as part of our Healthy Holiday series, Matt Ratcliffe is at a kids' club in Warwick, where it looks like there's been plenty going on all day. That's right, isn't it, Matt?
Well, that's certainly right, Bob. We've had football, cricket, parachute games, tag and tennis, which, well, doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon. I think they're really enjoying themselves. But it's all part of a school, well, out-of-school programme to keep kids fit and healthy during the summer holidays, when there aren't any playground fun and games at lunchtime or after-school activities. I've spent the whole day here, and I've just been watching. I've not been taking part, but even I'm exhausted. Keeping kids busy during the summer holidays can be a challenge every year.
Yeah, this side, oranges, so lift it up.
One solution is the Kids Club. This one in Warwick runs every day during the school break, offering all kinds of sports and games to keep children running around and away from computer games.
So let's cross now and speak to Matt Ratcliffe, who is at Pride Park. Matt, you've been speaking to the fans all day today. What's their take on developments so far?
Well, it's a case of deja vu for a second time for Derby County. 5 months ago, Steve McLaren was appointed for the second time, and now he's been sacked for the second time. Fans outside the ground here today have been broadly in agreement, really. They've told me that change was needed, but not necessarily that it should have been the manager. Many saying he should have been given more time. Well, he hasn't, and he's gone. It was meant to be the reappointment that would finally bring success back to Derby County.
We all worked damn hard to get this team back up the league, playing good football.
And Steve McLaren had an instant impact. 7 straight wins saw his second stint in charge begin with a climb up the Championship table, from relegation battlers to promotion chasers. But a dismal 3-0 defeat at Brighton on Friday night, with the Rams not managing a single shot on target, was a 5th loss in 9 games. They'd only won 1 of them too. It appears to have been the final straw for owner Mel Morris. And last night Mr Morris decided to act. Steve McClaren was sacked. The reasons? A significant, unexpected and persistent decline in results, team unity and morale. He did thank Steve McClaren for his work at the club over the last few months, but said commitment, focus and passion has been lacking something fundamental in that time.
Pretty disappointing really, because obviously coming around a second time I thought that they'd give him at least till end of season, let him do his own thing.
It's not McClaren's fault that the team's been playing for, it's the team's fault.
Coming in the second time made no difference, not improved the team.
He said that he could have done better before he got sacked. So
it just makes us look amateurish. Are we blaming the manager or are we blaming the players? Obviously the manager's taken the fall.
Steve McClaren's second coming began in October. The brief then was to get the team playing the type of football that guided them to the playoffs in 2014. Now it's March and a new man must do the same, and quickly. There are only 9 games left, with Derby well adrift of the promotion fight. Well, it's understood tonight that Gary Rowett, the former Birmingham and Burton boss, is in talks with the owners of the club about taking over from Steve McClaren. Derby fans may know him well from his time at the club as a player during the 1990s, where he helped them to promotion to the Premier League and stabilise in that league. The club say that they will make an announcement about the next appointment in the coming days, but one thing is for certain, the first game is a huge one. It's just up the road, up the A52 at the City Ground against fierce rivals Nottingham Forest.